Oh hey guys, in this video I'm going to take you on a 2,000 kilometer ownership update on how life has been living with the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. And I'm going to show you something really cool about this car that just came out and was released by Toyota this year on the Grand Highlander. That is a very cool feature and I think makes this vehicle very unique, so stick around to the end. But first, let's take a look inside and check out all the creature comforts that it's got that you get to live with if you buy one of these. You've got your very unique cruise control settings located over here. You've got Drive Connect with CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got 7 USB-Cs throughout the car. You have various drive mode selections over here. Just hit the button and it'll configure the suspension and the drivetrain accordingly. You've also got quad zone climate control, a heated steering wheel, and a power liftgate. Got some very sleek and modern rear sunshades. The driver and passenger have 3 setting heated seats. Now let's take it on a ride and go over how the driving experience is. If you guys found any of this information helpful, if you could like, sub, or watch some other videos to push that algo, that'd be a big help. Thanks. Driving the 2024 Grand Highlander XLE. Now the driving experience, at least in regards to steering, braking, is going to be similar along all of the models of the Grand Highlander. One thing I noticed the most would definitely be the steering responsiveness and just the braking, and the fact that even though this is a really big car, if you drive over roads that are relatively uneven or you have potholes, things of that nature, it's still going to be very, very comfortable to drive. You know, even if you have kids in the back, people in the second or third row, it's going to be a very comfortable ride no matter who is in the car. And your acceleration is fairly decent. I mean, that's the thing that I was actually quite impressed with. I mean, if you have it in eco mode, then you're going to know that it's going to be slower. But that being said, if you put this thing into sport mode, boy does she go. She really moves. This thing has a 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about 8.3 seconds. Whereas if you get the Hybrid Max, which I would recommend if you had the budget, I would definitely go for the Hybrid Max or even just the Hybrid in general to save yourself some fuel. But the Hybrid Max at least would give you more takeoff power as well as, you know, obviously the fuel economy. That's why you buy the Hybrid. It's going to be much improved with a 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometer an hour time at about 5.6 seconds. You don't really have too much cabin noise either. So it's really nice. So I'm in sport mode here and I'm accelerating. We even got a little bit of sound there from this 2.4 liter inline turbo engine. And this thing does have some good pull, even though you know, it's a big car, but it's got 265 horsepower and 310 pound-foot of torque. So it does have plenty of power, especially if you buy it for what most people would buy it for, which would be to haul around your family members, or if you got some kids, want to put them in the back, you know, you got a lot of people, you're looking to go on a road trip and you want to accommodate many people, then this will be the vehicle for you. And next up here is going to be the fuel economy. So overall, over the 2,000 kilometers that I've owned this car, I've done about 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is basically 18 miles to the gallon. That being said, I drive a little bit harsh sometimes, so obviously my average is going to be a little bit higher. If you're just doing short-term drives and you're on the highway a lot, like I did a drive last week to Toronto and back, and I actually averaged 23 to 24 miles to the gallon, about 10 liters per 100 kilometer. So I got some good fuel economy if I was on the highway using cruise control. And the last thing I'm going to go over about this car that I love the most is definitely the radar cruise control. So over here to the right, we have our cruise control selection settings. So you have your radar cruise control, you have your lane keep assist, and also you have a button here that if I click this button, it will change the amount of lines, which is the amount of distance between you and the car in front of you. So you can keep, you know, 4 car lengths of distance away from the vehicle in front of you. Let's take this thing on the highway and let's show you how she works. Here we are cruising on the highway and we are going to match the speed of the vehicle in front of us by clicking here on the cruise control button. So now we're matching the speed here at 91 kilometers per hour. We can increase and decrease, but if you notice here, that vehicle was braking and now our vehicle braked as well. And this is the feature that is the craziest thing about this car. So if you notice in front of this, the car length is about 4 car lengths away. And if we hit this button on the steering wheel here, we can lower that distance and the vehicle will in turn accelerate to close that gap. Right here we want about 2 car lengths and we'll bring it down to 1 here. and you notice that the car will start to accelerate. And this is the thing that I find the most cool about this cruise control feature, is you can not only have the vehicle set its speed to the vehicle in front of you, you can also set the distance in vehicles between you and the one in front of you, and also when it gets a little bit too close, it will brake on its own. So you notice here, if I'm driving, doing cruise control, and I get into another lane here, it will automatically brake for me if the vehicle in front of me had me slowing down. This thing rips if you want it to. Despite this car being so big, the braking is very good, and you know, if this thing's in sport mode, you can really get this thing moving, and it feels a lot more like just a four-door sedan than a big body SUV. And even though it's not like a big body, but it's definitely the cross between the Highlander and the Sequoia, and that's why they made this Grand Highlander, and that's exactly what they've done. That's what I was looking for when we made the purchase for this vehicle. But I will say, definitely, probably when we bring this thing back, we'll probably go for the Hybrid Max, just to look to gain a little bit more fuel economy, but then also have a little bit more power. Mainly just because I'm a power junkie. I mean, for most people, 90% people, the power that you get in this XLE or this 2.4 liter turbo engine will be more than enough for what you need. All right, you guys, I think that's about it. So if you guys got any questions about the Grand Highlander, if you want to see something specific, feel free to drop that in the comments below, and we'll see what we can do. And if you like this kind of car content, you know, Toyotas, fast cars, rebuilds, whatever you have it, if you want to hit the like button or sub, that would be incredible. I love cars, and I'm going to continue making these videos until this channel grows into something incredible. I currently have an 09 CLS 63 AMG, and I'm in the process of just selling that car, and I really want to buy something that I can rebuild on the channel and maybe start doing some rebuilds along with some reviews of some unique cars, or cars that I feel like the audience that watch these videos might enjoy. And we'll see you in the next video, you guys. Thanks. Peace out.